This is Chien with Wulong Toys, and today we're playing BattleRoller Commandos. Let's get started. Today I'm going to be using the yellow grid virtual map. It comes with these nested columns. They come in one small and one large, and they actually print nested together so it saves space on your print bed and for storage. They come in one small and one large. You get 4 of them to a map. They can also stack, small and large, as well as large and large, and small. Now I just placed them around randomly for our commandos to have to dodge around and destroy. I've picked out a couple of commandos for us to play with. Today we've got Rajim, Akbar, Blastcap, and Lana. All of them are custom characters with custom miniatures, which you can create on BattleRoller.com. Let's take a closer look at the character card. In addition to a picture of your commando and their name and their class, Lana here is a dragon, this symbol means movement, and 3 means that she can move 3 spaces when she has action points to spend. These hearts are her hit points. Not necessarily how many hits she can take, but how much damage she can take. Some attacks might do more than 1. This symbol here is for load. 30 means that she can carry a load up to 30 units. You'll see when we get into items how things weigh. This 2 is skills, so she has 2 skill slots that she can equip. This grid here references her armor rating, which is her defense. So she has a 4, meaning that she can roll 4 dice to defend herself. She has a 1 in speed. Speed is more like your reaction time. It determines who gets to go first, like initiative. She has a 0 in melee, so she won't be using any knives or swords. For tech, however, you can see she's got a 3, so any tech-related items, she's qualified up to a 3. Explosives, a 5, she's maxed out on that. And then for her ranged weapons, she's got a 2. What these get into, we'll take a look at later when we look at the item and skill cards. On the back, this is her default load. Now, I set this up on BattleRoller.com when I created the custom characters. She's not limited to this, but this is a default load for her to make it quick to play with her. She's equipped with the Grease Monkey skill, the Medic skill, Med Pack, Shotgun, Grenades, and 3 energy bars. So once I've decided to play with her, I'm going to go ahead and get her cards. Here's the Medic card. So this is a skill card. This symbol here means it can only be used by a commando that's on foot, as opposed to in a vehicle or in a roller. Name, Medic. A brief information about how to use the card. The qualification for the card. You can see this one requires 1 in tech. Grease Monkey. She can repair machines. And then her item cards. For example, the shotgun. This one has an attack of 2, meaning she'll be able to roll 2 dice when it's her turn to attack. Range, 1 to 2, meaning the target must be 1 to 2 hex grids away. SPL stands for Splash, 1. That means whatever she targets within a radius of 1 hex all around it will also take damage. And then some special information about using this item. For example, here, the character will not be affected if caught in the splash radius. So if she shoots somebody at 1 hex away, she won't be caught by her own splash damage. This 10 here is the load. That references back to what we saw on here. So that 30 and that 10, she can only carry up to that amount. The 2 in weapon, or in range, she's qualified for that. If this had a higher thing, she wouldn't be qualified for it. And then she's also equipped with grenades, her med pack, and 3 energy bars. We'll take a look at those later when we're actually playing the game. Let's get set up. We're all set up and ready to play. You see I've got the mat out, I've got the characters, I've got all of their cards. Each of them have 3 of these blue cubes. These represent their action points, which will come in later when it's their turn. We've also got a bunch of dice to roll for when it's time to attack and defend, and these green cubes, and we'll get into those later. Those are for skill points. Okay, I've compared all of the speed of all of them. Rajim here has a 4, while Lana and Akbar have 1, and Blastcap has 2. So when it's time for these guys, they're going to roll off. But first is Rajim's turn. Now, right now, nobody's in range to attack, so all he can do is move. So I'm going to take 1 action point, drop it here, meaning that I'm moving. His move is 2. So he moves 1, 2, going for the closest one, which is Lana. He's still not in range to hit anybody, so I'm going to take another action point and put it into move. 1, 2. Now he's 1 away. His attack with a katana has an attack of 2, a range of 1 R. The R means radius. So that means everything within 1 radius of him is attacked all at once with this 1 attack. Has an attack of 2, so I'll take 2 dice and I'll roll them. And see, he got 2 shields. So that means no damage was done, and that's the end of his turn. Next is going to be Blastcap's turn, because he had a speed of 2. So again, nobody's in range to attack right now, so I'm going to move. I'll take one of these, put it in here. Again, he has a move of 2 as well. I'm going to head towards Akbar. 1, 2. Now, he's within range, 1, 2, 3, of my minigun. Minigun has a range of 1 to 3 and an attack of 5. So I'm going to take 5 dice. You can see we roll 5 dice at once. Each die must be defended against individually and requires 2 actions to use. So I'll attempt this attack, and that's going to do it for him. So let's see. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 2 shields, and 1 skull. So these are useless to us. This is damage. So Akbar's going to have to attempt to defend himself against that. Akbar, however, has a 2 in armor, his defense. So he's going to take these two dice and attempt to defend himself. He wants shields in order to defend against that skull. And he got 1 shield, which blocked that. These are still on the table. These stars represent knockback when you're attacking. But because of the minigun, they have to be defended against separately. So first he defends against this 1 knockback. Here he wants stars in order to defend against them. Star beats star. So again, he'll roll. None. So that means he takes 1 knockback. So he's knocked back 1 space. In this instance, however, he's actually blown off the map. When this happens, for knockback only, Atari rules apply. That means that he'll actually show up again over here. And then there's 1 more to defend against. He'll roll. Again, no stars. And he's knocked back another space. And that'll do it for Blastcap's turn. Next is going to be Akbar and the Dragon Lana. Both of them have a 1 in speed. So what they're going to do is they're going to roll 5 dice, hoping to get stars. So I'm going to roll for Akbar. He got 2 stars. And then for Lana, no stars. So that means that Akbar gets to go first. Now it's Akbar's turn. Blastcap is already in range, so he doesn't have to move. So what he's going to do is he's just going to go ahead and attack with his assault rifle. The assault rifle has an attack of 1. However, it attacks 3 times per action. So for that 1 action, he gets to attack 3 times with 1 die. So attacks may focus on multiple targets. Well, he only has 1. So first I'm going to roll this 1 die. That's his first. Total miss. Second, also total miss. And third, a star. It doesn't cause any damage, but it could do a knockback. We take a look at the armor for Blastcap, which is a 4. We're going to go ahead and roll the dice for him. And those 2. So 1 is negated, and he's got an excess 1. Now the excess 1 means that he earns a skill point. We'll put that right there for him. These skill points mean that he gets to be able to use these skills that have costs later on. Now Akbar still has 2 more actions to take. He's going to go ahead and attack one more time. Again, I'll roll the 1 die. This time damage, potential damage. Blocked by 1 shield. Second, potential knockback. Negated. And 1 more. Again, potential knockback. Not negated. Blast Cap's knocked that way. Still got 1 action left, but now he's out of range. I could spend it to move. Actually, 1, 2, 3, he is in range. I could fire again, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the landmine. Landmine is why I have these excess ones here. Basically, he gets to drop these suckers onto the mat, wherever he goes. Now, if anybody enters into that space, it'll set the landmine off and potentially do damage to them. And so he's just going to leave them everywhere like the Easter Bunny. And that'll do it for Akbar. Next, it's going to be Lana's turn. Lana's got a move of 3, but she doesn't really need to go anywhere because she has an enemy right here to deal with. So we're going to take a shot at him with the shotgun. So we'll take an action and put it into the shotgun. Shotgun has an attack of 2 and a range 1 to 2 with a splash of 1. Well, he's within range of the shotgun, so let's go ahead and attack. Take our 2 action dice, roll them. 2 stars means 2 knockback. Rajim now has to defend against. Rajim has an armor of 2, so he'll take 2 die and attempt to defend against that. If they were skulls, it would have been great, but I mean, if those were skulls. He does not defend against it. He gets knocked back 1, 2 spaces, but no damage is taken. Now, 1, 2, he's no longer within range of her shotgun, but he is within range of a grenade, which is a distance of 2 to 3. So let's go ahead and lob a grenade in his direction. Does not require line of sight, and may target an empty space if we want. We also get +2 stars against targets that are in the splash radius. So what we're going to do is actually target right here. So by targeting there, we'll go ahead and roll our attack of 3. Which gives us 1 skull, 1 shield, which is worthless, and 1 star. But because he's within the splash radius of that, that's +2. So it's actually like 3 stars and 1 skull. Now he's going to have to fend against with his 2 die. Alright, so he rolled shields, negates that, does not negate the 3 knockback. 1, 2, 3 puts him right here. She's now going to turn around and take her last action with the shotgun. Roll the 2, 1 knockback, no damage, and he negated that and picked up an extra skill point. And that's going to do it for the round. It's the start of a new round, and that means it's Rajim's turn. He doesn't have to move anywhere, so we're just going to go ahead and put that action into the katana. Has an attack of 2, which does 1 knockback and 1 skull. Against Lana, she has an armor of 4. So we'll roll her 4 dice to defend. We defended against that 1 knockback, we defended against that skull, and she picks herself up a skill point. He's still got 2 more actions to take. Might as well attack again with the katana. This time, 2 skulls. Those do nothing for us. Oh, you can't see them. Those do nothing for us, and that does nothing for us because he didn't knock back. She does get to pick up a skill point for it though, but she takes 2 damage. She only has, well, damage is then put onto her card. 1, 2, but because she only has 2 hearts, she's dead. Rajim here has 1 action point left. Nobody around to fight, so he might as well move. So we'll put that into move. His movement's 2. 1, 2. That's about all Rajim can do. That ends his turn. Next up is going to be Blast Cap. Blast Cap has 3 actions to spend. He could continue with that again if he wanted to, and I think he will. So we'll go ahead and put those 2 actions, because it costs 2, into the minigun. We've got 5 dice, we'll go ahead and roll. And he rolled, now you see him, 2 shields and 3 skulls. Remember, because it's the minigun, all of them have to be defended against separately. These are worthless, and so that means the 3 skulls that have to be defended against. Akbar has a 2 in defense, so we'll go ahead and roll his 2 defense against this first skull. Blocked and picked up a skill. The second one. Blocked. And the third one. Blocked. Alright, so that's it for the minigun. He's got 1 action left to spend. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the shaped charges. Now the shaped charges, we place one of the action die onto the map next to the mini with the shield side up, and the point of the shield indicates the direction of the blast. The player may detonate the charge at any time without using an action, because they've already used an action to put it down. So what this means is then I get to take this, put it on to the map with him, and point it out of any of the hex directions I want. I'm going to go ahead and point it that direction. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there, and maybe set it off at a different time. It's Akbar's turn, and he doesn't want to get caught in the blast radius of this shaped charge. So we're going to go ahead and first put an action into move. He has a movement of 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. Najim here is in range of our assault rifle, so we'll go ahead and put an action into that, which has, again, that attack of 1, which we roll 3 times. 1, that's 1 damage coming at you, Rajim. Rajim's going to defend with his 2. I got 1 shield and 1 skull, so that's defended against. Rolled again, a shield, total miss, and another shield, total miss. Alright, so that wasn't terribly useful for Akbar here. He's got 1 more action left, and I think what he's going to do is go ahead and drop another landmine right where he's at. Do it for Akbar. That ends the round, since there's only 3 of them left. It's the top of the round, and it's Rajim's turn again. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 action into movement, and I'm going to go ahead and spend this 1 skill point on his skill, Shadow Step. Shadow Step lets me move and attack at the same time with a single action. So I'm spending that, putting it back into the bank there. He can move 1, 2, and then, because I'm also using this, it's the katana with an attack of 2 and range of 1. Remember, everything within range 1 is affected, and that means even these guys. So we'll go ahead and roll. I got 1 skull, 1 shield. Shield's useless, but that skull is damage. 1 to 2 does no damage here. 1 to 1 takes this one out. And against Akbar, who now has to defend himself against 1. Akbar has his 2 dice of defense. We'll go ahead and roll for him. He got 2 stars, which gains him 2 skill. However, it does not protect him from taking that damage, and he now has 1 damage marker on his card. He has 2 health, so he's still in the game. It's the start of the next round, and Rajim's up first. We're going to go ahead and put 2 into movement, because there's nothing else that he can do. 1, 2, put 1 into the katana, take a swing, range 1, radius. I got 1 skull, 1 knockback. Everything within that radius of 1 now has to defend against that 1. None of the 1, this guy has a 2, so it's not affected. This, however, was still left in play. Even though Akbar's dead, his landmine is still there. It actually gets set off by the blast, by the radius damage, or splash damage, according to the card. Can be triggered by splash damage. He actually accidentally set that off with his katana. So it detonates for 2. Had 1 knockback, 1 shield. So no damage, thankfully, for Rajim. But now he has to defend against that. He doesn't defend against the knockback. He actually gets blown in that direction by the thing that he set off with his katana. Blastcap, however, does have to defend against it. He has a 4 for his arm defense rating. And there's that 1. He got lucky. Defended against it. Now Rajim still has 1 action point left to spend. We'll go ahead and swing the katana 1 more time. We'll see what happens. 2 shields, absolutely worthless. That means it's Blastcap's turn. What's he gonna do? Well, he doesn't have to move. His enemy's right there. Might as well use the minigun. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. We'll roll them all. Oop, that was a... I forgot, that was a shape charge. That's one of the reasons why you probably shouldn't roll onto the mat. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3 knockback, and 1, 2 damage. Damages come first. And remember, these all get defended against separately. So, 1, defended against, and picked up a skill. Next, defended against, knockback. Did not defend against that knockback. What does that mean? He now gets knocked back into a column. That column has a 1, so that means that it effectively takes the damage for him and gets knocked out of the way. Had this been a 2, the damage would have been reflected back onto Rajim and he would have taken the damage. So he got lucky there. 1 more. Defend. Did not knock back. The last knockback. Defend. Did not defend against it and knocked back again. So he didn't take any damage, but he was kind of knocked across the map a bit. Blastcap has 1 more action left. Gun. We might as well put down a shape charge. And we'll put it pointing towards him. And that's going to be the end of the round. It's the top of the next round, and it's Rajim's turn. He's going to go ahead and put 1 action into movement. I'm going to slip around the side here, so I'm not within the blast radius of this guy. Put another 1 into movement, but I'm also going to spend that skill point and be able to attack at the same time. 1, 2, and attack. So we'll roll our 2 attack dice for the katana. We got 1 knockback and 1 shield, which is useless. So let's see, did we knock him back? There's his 4 defense, which he successfully defended against. Rajim has 1 more action left to spend. We're going to go ahead and put it into the katana. We'll attack. He did 1 knockback and 1 skull. First we defend against the damage. Blocked and picked up 2 skill points. And the knockback was also defended against. So that should have actually been 1 skill point, not 2. That's it for Rajim. Next is Blastcap. What's he going to do? We're going to go ahead and turn this way. We're going to drop 1 of the shape charges facing this direction. We can set it off whenever we want to, so we're going to set it off right now. Shape charge has an attack of 3, range of 2, and a splash of 1. So he's within range. Maybe I shouldn't take a risk because he's got high defense. So we'll take that 3, roll. It did 1 knockback and 2 shields. So that was pretty poor roll. That now comes off the board. He has to defend against that. He did not defend against the knockback. He's knocked back 1. He's hit by his own splash damage, which again, that 1 knockback. And it's not defended against. So that means he's actually knocked back. So here's how it works when you get knocked back into terrain. It was 1. This cannot take it and blow up. So because it bounced back, he takes 1 damage for it. But he has a health of 3, so he's still going. That's the end of the round since there's only 2. Rajim's turn, and he's going to go ahead and put 1 into movement. 1, 2. He's actually stepping inside the same space as Blastcap here. There's a reason for this. His attack is 1R. His range is 1R. Everything within that. Whereas Blastcap, his minigun, the range is 1 to 3, meaning it has to be at least 1 away. It can't be within the same space. So that's what Rajim's doing. He's going to go and attack with his katana. We'll do it twice. First one, worthless, and a knockback. We'll defend against that. Defended against, picked up a skill. Attack again. 1 skull, 1 knockback. Defend. Defending against that, and defending against that. Alright, so that's it for you, Rajim. Now it's Blastcap's turn. He's going to have to move. He can't attack from where he's at. And he can't really drop down and set off another shape charge. He could, but he'd be within the radius of his own attack. So we'll go ahead and move. He's got a movement of 2. We'll slip around here. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. Over here. And 1, 2, 3. He's now within range of that minigun. We'll fire it off. All right, we got shield, worthless. 2 knockback, 2 skulls. We'll defend against those first. First one, defended. Second one, not defended. Takes 1 damage. Knockback. Not defended. Second one. Not defended. Now, he's right in line of sight with that. We're going to go ahead and fire it off. Again, that has an attack of 3. It did worthless. 2 shields, 1 knockback. We'll defend, and we defended against it. So as you can see, this can keep going on and on, all depending on the luck of your dice rolls. But that's the gist of how you play the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Alright, so I was curious to know who would win, so I played out the rest of the game, and it ended in 1 more round. Rajim here moved forward 2 times to right here, attacked, did nothing. Blastcap then fired off with his minigun. Was able to do 1 damage, knocked him back to here. He then dropped one of these, fired it off immediately for 3. Got a pretty decent roll, enough that 2 skulls were rolled. Rajim wasn't able to defend against it at all and took all of that damage. And he had a health of 4. And that took him out. So there's your winner, Blastcap.